What does commitment mean to you? Specifically, what does it mean? What's your definition of commitment? Today, with episode 16 of my Daily Words of Wisdom, I'm going to show you what commitment really is. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you how to make all of your commitments ironclad. I'm talking about your relationships, your career, your finances, your health, and most importantly, the commitment to yourself. Today, I'm going to use my 7 books of wisdom. I'm going to go to book 3, The Keys to Unrelenting Allegiance. I'm going to read right out of the book. I'm going to read the quote to you, and then I'm going to go through the 3 parts of every lesson: the reality, the plan, and the action. Now, I'm going to elaborate on each one. It's going to go pretty quick today. So let's start with the quote. The struggle, uncertainty, and sacrifice of commitment is the grandest prize. The achievement of a better you is the bonus. Yeah. So I'm going to read the reality of what am I saying here? What is this all about, Bobby? Here's the reality of this quote. It's often said, what doesn't kill us only makes us stronger. When it comes to commitment, no more fitting words could be spoken. Committing to something is one thing, but staying engaged through the struggles and the trying times is where we gain immense strength and perseverance we can use for the rest of our lives. Once we have this badge of courage under our belt, our commitments grow stronger and we continually achieve at becoming better at life and at helping others learn to do the same. Let me elaborate on that a little bit. There's 2 things I want you to remember about commitment. 2 things. First of all, when you commit to someone or something, commit to your effort, not the outcome. Now, I've said this a lot. This is included in several of my podcasts. I talk about it when I speak, and it's worth repeating here today because it's crucial that you hit it down when it comes to commitment. Commit to effort, not outcome. Here's why. Guys, you could be 100% committed. You could do everything the way you're supposed to and when you're supposed to do it. And yet the desired outcome will not come to fruition. We can't control the outcome in many situations. We can't. Life happens. We can't control it. But what can we always control? Our effort. Yeah. So when you commit to effort, not outcome. This is how you become strongly committed. If you committed to the outcome and it didn't happen, and you put in all this effort and all this work, man, you're going to be like, man, I'm heck with this commitment stuff. It's not worth it. I did everything I was supposed to, and it didn't happen. Why should I do it again? Because that's not what's important. The outcome's irrelevant. It's your effort. On the other hand, if you stay committed through the effort, through all the challenging times, committed to your effort, you have improved your commitment. You will commit stronger and more often in the future because you stayed strong. Okay? The second part is pretty much a little bit about what I said. The struggle is the goal of commitment. The uncertainty is the real goal. And the sacrifice of commitment is where the real reward is. Look, when it gets tough, that's your opportunity to become a strong person, to become a really strong, emotionally free individual. When you are uncertain about where this thing is going, concentrate on your efforts. That makes you stronger. When you sacrifice, when you do things you don't want to do, and you don't do things you do want to do, this is where you become a very powerful individual. So remember, effort over outcome, and the struggle is what makes you strong, the struggle of commitment, okay? Let's move on to the plan. Here's the plan of this particular lesson. Think about something you've wanted to achieve, and while you're at it, think about these 3 things: the struggles, uncertainties, and sacrifices that will most certainly accompany you on your way to achievement. Once you've thought it through, put it into action. So we're going to put it into action, but let's talk about what I just told you. Let's talk about this plan. One thing you need to do before you commit to someone or something, and actually do this with the current commitments you have at this time. Think about the struggles that you might encounter along the way. Think about the struggles that you have encountered. Think about them, right? Think about the sacrifices. Think about the uncertainties of this commitment or a commitment that you're going to make. Now, here's a question I want you to ask yourself. Think about the struggles, the uncertainties, and the sacrifices, and ask yourself this question. Am I willing to endure these? Am I willing to stay committed even though I'm going to encounter these three things? Am I willing to stay strong to my commitment even if I encounter these things along the way, often or the whole way? That's a true indicator if you're willing to commit, if you're ready to commit. Okay? Now, here's your action. And this goes right along with what we just did. These thoughts are excellent to add to your journal. Or you can write it here. You can write it down. Guys, I'm talking about these books are designed. I know if you're just listening to this podcast, you can't see this, but I'm showing you the book. These 7 books of wisdom are designed for you to journal in the book. These are ready for you to write in them. There's a whole page to the right of each lesson where you can write. But I made this so you can have all this in one place. So let's do this again. Write one goal you want to achieve. And with it, write one struggle, one uncertainty, and one sacrifice you think you'll encounter along the way. Well, here we go. Now we're getting into it right here. So again, I want you to write down one goal you have. What's a goal? What's something you've been wanting to achieve? What's something you want to better yourself, where you want to better yourself? What's a betterment? What's a self-improvement? Something you want. Write it down. Now, here's where the thinking comes into play. Write down one struggle that you'll think you'll encounter, okay? Something that's going to be challenging. Write down one uncertainty. Yeah, that's going to make you think. And then write down one sacrifice. Something you're going to have to do that you don't really like doing, or something you're going to have to stop doing that you like to. Yeah. That's the action. Let me tell you a story. One of my friends, his son just graduated college now. It's about probably 6 months ago he graduated college. Maybe almost a year ago. Man, time flies. He graduated with a degree in economics. He wants to manage people's money. He wants to go into investments. He wants to be in money, whether it's in the stock market or whatever it is. He loves economics. He loved it. And he has these grand thoughts of making money and helping people grow their wealth. He is so excited. I talked to him before he graduated, and he said, man, I just know I'm going to do great. I want to go out there and I'm going to turn the world on its ear, man. I'm going to do great. Well, I encouraged him, but his dad told him, he said, look, you've got 3 months to get a job. If you don't have a job in 3 months, you're going to have to work somewhere. And he had a friend where he could work in a construction company. He could work there. So 3 months go by. And this kid went from being excited to, I'm going to get a job quick to, man, I'm kind of concerned. It's not what I thought out there. New challenge. Open this young kid coming out of college, think he's going to go right to work and make all this money, is faced with the reality of something he's never faced before. He can't find a job. He's not qualified. He's having a hard time. So, per the deal with dad, he goes to work for this construction company. A friend of his owns this company. The first day they had him, he thought, okay, well, I can build stuff. I can work. They're building houses, right? So I can build homes, and I can hammer nails, and I can lay brick or whatever it is. No, they didn't have him doing that. They had him being a gopher. I don't know if you know what a gopher is, but they had him going for this and going for that and going for this. He was doing all the dirty work. He was mixing concrete. He was hauling buckets of concrete up ladders. He was hauling shingles up on the roof. He was doing all kinds of the dirty work, all the stuff nobody else wanted to do. He comes home that first night and he's down. He's telling dad, man, I want to quit. I do not want to go back. That was horrible. So his dad sends me a text, asks me to call. So I call over there, and the kid gets on the phone. I say, look, there's a couple things I want you to know. Every one of those guys you're working with, they did what you were doing. They all had to go through that grind. They all had to do the dirty work, the dirty jobs. They all had to do it. And probably the supervisor did too. And more than likely, the guy that owns the company probably did something like that. Maybe not with that job, but with something else. It's something you got to go through. And I'll tell you something else. Keep your commitment strong, because believe it or not, going through that stuff, carrying all that stuff, doing the dirty work, the grind, that's going to help you when you get your job making people money, when you get your job investing money, because you will, but there's valuable lessons to learn for you. You can do this. You got to stick to your commitment, because it's going to make you a stronger individual, and you're going to get a lot of respect. Well, he did. He stuck with it, and he only had to do it for about another 6 weeks, and he actually got a job at a firm. He got a job at an investment firm. Man, it worked out for him. And I talked to him about 3 weeks ago, and he told me, he said, you told me something I'll never forget, and it was sticking to the struggle. He goes, because although it was a different struggle at the construction company doing the dirty work, he goes, I have similar struggles here with different things getting started. And you're right. Those things have helped me. Yeah. So it paid off big time, and it's a good story, great story of success, and the kid's doing great. Look, remember, when you make commitments to other people or other things, remember that it's your effort you commit to, not the outcome. The effort's something you can always control. That helps you have ironclad commitments. And that struggle, that's part of the deal, man. It's not only part of the deal, but it's the real gold of commitment. It's going to make you stronger. Before you do make future commitments, think about the struggles, uncertainties, and sacrifices you're going to have to make. Ask yourself that question. Are you willing to endure these? And as always, write those things down. Write down your goal that you want to go after. Write down your commitment and ask yourself, and write down one struggle, one uncertainty, and one sacrifice that you're more than likely to encounter. And ask yourself, honestly, can you really commit to that before you make that commitment? Yeah. Commitments are essential. Commitments help us grow. They help you to become something that you wouldn't be without them. Making commitments and keeping commitments will, even if especially when you stick through the struggle, are going to help you become emotionally free, emotionally independent, a strong, powerful individual that's going to allow you to do a lot of things you didn't think you could do, things you never thought possible. And I wholeheartedly believe that if you apply this about commitment, you are going to reach the top. You're going to exceed the top, and you're going to become the person you've always wanted to be. I'm Bobby Wisnan. Thanks for listening.